What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I'm here today to talk about the series that takes place within the world of the Batman called The Penguin. Now, as I said on the first episode review, that I'm going to wait till the last episode to binge the whole season, and that's what I did, and I'm here for my review and reaction to the series. And first of all, this thing is masterful. Written so well, shot well, the performances are outstanding. This just adds so much more stock to the Batman universe, even though the stock was already high for me. But this retroactively even makes the Batman that much better, being able to understand Oswald, his background, and just really doubling down on the fact that he is a scumbag villain. So with that being said, I gotta say that I love the series a lot because it definitely is a character study of Oswald. This by no means is sympathy for the villain. They do provide little moments like that, but what I like so much is that it plays ping pong with that, because it does give you these moments showing you Oz, from being younger to even now, and dealing with the mafia families, and the treatment that he gets, it's not the best. So you definitely get a little bit of sympathy there, but they also show actions of things that he's done that just make you look at him like he is a dirtbag. Oh my God. It gets his worst the last two episodes. When the intro to episode 7 hits, that whole sequence, I was just appalled at Oz, and I just could not believe that this was part of this character. Like it really takes it there. And if you've seen the show, you'll understand why the ending of the series in episode 8 is crazy. Literally, I felt so bad and just disgusted by Oz. I think Colin Farrell even said himself that, like, I don't see how anybody could like Oswald. By episode 8, you just like, this is a disgusting pig of a man that shouldn't be respected by anyone, and he was not lying. Oswald is pure scum, and I cannot wait for Batman to see him again and whoop his ass. That being said, the series did a great job of not only showing the backstory and understanding of Oz, but pushing things forward without being a detriment. Like, I feel like you can go into Batman Part 2 without seeing the series and you wouldn't be affected. While I will say you should watch it because it builds on that story, but honestly, the way the series ends with a news report of summing up all of the things that happened is exactly how I feel like it's going to play in the Batman 2. There's probably going to be a scene with Bruce looking at this news report of things that happened, and it all could be summed up in a few minutes of dialogue, and the best way to do an expositional dump like that is through a news report. And while it can be summed up, the small details in here are what make the story even better. So really loved that aspect of it. And next, I gotta give super kudos to Colin Farrell and Christina Milioti, I think is her name. If I said that wrong, you gotta excuse me. But these two just crushed this series. Everybody who is in the series came to play, but these two just knocked out the park. First of all, Colin being unrecognizable on any front. Like, if you told somebody this was Colin Farrell and they didn't know, they would not believe you, because the makeup is just done so well. There are moments when he turns in different angles. I can kind of tell because I know that's him. But if you don't know that's him, you're not going to know that's him. And then you have the accent and the way he speaks, just really getting that Manhattan mafioso type of talk. He ain't saying words. He's saying words like he did in the first Batman, and he just really carries that accent the entire time. Doesn't slip whatsoever, and he does a great job of just playing mind games. I think like this whole series is based around Penguin's, ascension to the top, because he is such a manipulator and plays so many games to get himself in many positions, and you see different things in him. And I just love how this just adds more context to the character. Like when I watch the Batman, right? And it's that scene when Gordon and Batman are interrogating him. And I remember watching that, like, why would the Penguin know Spanish? Why? He just seems like he's one of those ignorant street dudes that doesn't know anything outside of what he deals with. But you're given the context as to why he knows Spanish, and it's just like a big, like, whoa, that's why. It's a really important reason as to why he knows it. And if you know, you know. This paints a really detailed picture of the Penguin with his relationships, how he treats people, how he treats relationships with people. They even include his mom, as I said in the first episode, and it's done so freaking brilliantly. And to jump to Christine's character, she is playing Sophia Falcone, this bottled up rage just looking to burst. You see it in every single episode. Like, she has these moments when it just really comes out ferociously. She just plays unhinged mafia boss, don't give a damn about nothing so well. You do get sympathy from the villain in her sense, but at the same time, it's still such ruthlessness to the way that she handles things that you can't even root for her. This is just all out villain brutality all the way around. The thing about the actor Christine, she has very expressive eyes. I said that in my last review as well, that she does an amazing job of just being able to speak with her eyes. Like, there are moments when she was just walking slowly towards a character, talking calmly about what's to come, eyes wide as possible, not blinking, and it's pretty frightening. She's crazy as. And the show offers so many twists and turns that when I started watching it from episode 2, I was like, this is exactly why I waited for the whole season, because I needed more. Every episode, I was like, let me dive into this. Give me more. And what the show also does is adds a lot more to Gotham as a city. In the Batman, we see how grungy and grimy the aesthetic of the city is, and even the street side of how organized crime works and has been in tandem with police and government officials. But here we get even more of that. Like, we really get to see the scum of Gotham and just how these organized crime gangs really get down, and just how deeply rooted the infestation of evil and darkness that the city of Gotham has. From just rolling with eyes as he does different things, to the many different people that Sophia deals with. It's to a point where no character can be trusted, no one's safe. I think that just speaks for Gotham as a whole. So I'm about to get into slight spoilers, so if you don't want to know any spoilers, just go watch the show and come back here. But I gotta address the elephant in the room, because I've seen it make its way all across social media. Where the heck is Batman? I wanted to address that because I don't feel like Batman should have showed up. I'm not surprised that they did not write him into the show, because what we have to remember is this is still year 2 of Batman, and at the end of the movie, he is stating that he has to be more than just fear. He has to be a symbol of hope for the city. And at this point, the city is still struggling from what the Riddler did. So I imagine that Batman is doing his due justice to help the people of Gotham out. And in that way of hope, I feel like he's transitioning into being a more present Bruce Wayne in the public eye, doing more philanthropy and using that to his will to counteract just his dark side, being Batman. He knows he has to do more, so I would assume that that aspect of Bruce can do more than Batman. So when you compare rebuilding a city to jumping into the middle of a gang war, I feel like rebuilding a city is more important. And going through that process of trying to just fight any and everybody, he learned from that. So I feel like he's approaching it differently, and it will be addressed in part 2. Now, the next thing I see people talk about is like, the mafia is just doing this. They're not scared of Batman. Of course they're not. You know, a lot of people take his monologue at the beginning of the Batman where he says, I am the shadows, and you know, he uses fear as a tool. He's talking about little street level petty thieves, burglars, vandalists, and that kind of thing. He's not talking about the mafia. The mafia is not scared of him. I mean, he strolled into a club wearing a Batman suit, and he was pursued by goon after goon after goon. And when he met Oz, Oz was just like, yo, what's up? Let's just talk right quick. No type of fear at all for Batman. So he has not established that level of fear as of yet. He hasn't taken enough people off the board for the mafia to fear him. And I feel like he's gonna understand that in part 2 of how to invoke that fear into these crime bosses. Because of course, he can do things that the police can't, because he has no jurisdiction, but he hasn't displayed anything yet in the first Batman for them to fear him. That's why they're running around doing all this crazy shit, and will continue to do it until he nixes it in the bud. So all in all, The Penguin is just a fantastic series, and if Matt Reeves and his cast and crew are going to keep cooking up this type of stuff with spin-offs, bring it on. I'm here for more, and I will watch all of it. So if you've seen the Penguin series, let me know in the comments, what did you think? And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.